as a mom, as a parent, you hold this baby girl in your arms for the first time. Do
Yeah.
you remember the hopes and dreams you had for her? What the feelings as a mom the first time you hold your baby?
Of course, you think of it more now, remembering that, you know, you have a child. She's, you know, she's a baby and she's adorable and she's going to go to school, she's going to go to college, she's going to have fun. She's, you know, the whole experience. She's going to grow up to be this, you know, this sweet, loving, kind, beautiful young woman. And she is sweet, loving, kind, and beautiful. But she's an addict.
I mean, a little bit about her childhood. Was it a normal childhood? Healthy?
Pretty much. Stay-at-home mom. She was sweet. She was a lot of fun. We were kind of older when we had her, so it was even more fun because, it, you know, you already got a couple of them out of the way. You had, you know, a little more knowledge maybe. It was not so nervous. And she kind of hung out with us a lot. You know, she was always with us. And teenage years, I'd say, when they want to be with their friends.
When did you first start to think something would, or see changes in her?
Probably around 18 or 19. It probably started before that, but I'd say around 18 or 19. And yeah, you know, maybe mood swings or anger issues or whatever. Just.
Did she finish high school?
She did finish high school. She worked for a while, and you know, jobs here or there that she could, you know, things that she could do, she worked. But as she got older, I started to see the progression. Started looking for, you know, facilities or someplace to get help. We did find a place we had to pay for. A lot of facilities here in Connecticut, most of them don't accept Title 19, so you either pay cash or you get no help at all. And she did well for a while, but they relapse.
So, you know, you talk about her being late teens when you first kind of think there might be a problem. Any specific things that jump out at you? Do you remember the first time you confronted her about a potential problem? And what did she say? She
got very, very sick. She was hospitalized. And that's when I found out. She was probably 19 or 20, maybe 21. And I said, okay, we need to address it. And we started, you know, trying to find help, and whether it's therapy, psychiatry, whatever. And she did go into a rehab facility for a 10-day detox.
Where was that?
That was in Florida.
So you had to send her away.
Yep. Yep.
The expense that goes with that?
Roughly $1,000, well, several years ago, $1,000 a day. It's up to about $1,600 or $1,700 a day now. And if they sign themselves out, they sign themselves out. You get no phone call. They're 18. They're over 18. So they have the right to their privacy, so you don't get a phone call.
Did you have contact with her during that period, or?
No, you're not allowed. I know Rushford in Middletown will give you 5 minutes a day to contact home or whatever to let them know that you're okay. But basically that's it. They're not allowed to have phones or, you know.
But the facility that she went to did not allow the contact?
No.
Do you think that's hurtful? Do you think that it's important for them to be talking with home or discussing progress?
As a parent, I would like it, but understanding what they're up against, she's going to get on that phone and she's going to say, Mom, I want to come home. Please come and get me. They're not treating me nice. They're treating me badly. They're, you know, as I said, you can't believe, unfortunately, you can't believe too much they say. You have to be aware that they will say whatever they have to say.
So, and she was 19 at the time?
19 or 20, yeah.
So we're talking 10 years ago that this happened.
At least, yeah.
Coming home from that, was there a change? Were we better for a little while?
She was better for a little while. What causes the relapse? I believe they have triggers. and they relapse. I can't pinpoint it to any one thing right now. She has had, issues in her life that have caused her to, to fall off the wagon or relapse. But with an addict, you can break a nail and, you have no more coping skills, basically. So at any one given time, a relationship, your boyfriend broke up with you, whatever, there's, a lot of reasons why they relapse.
What was she addicted to? What is she addicted to?
Cocaine, heroin. As I said, she started as teenagers. Basically, most of them, if you have that age between, say, 25 and 35, 40, they started out taking pills, OxyContins, $60 a pill. Heroin is $5 to $10 a bag. So after a while, you can't afford OxyContin. So you go to bigger and better things.
Conversations with her, real moments. Was it confrontational? Is it sit down at the kitchen table? Is it we have to do something? As a parent, how are you reaching out to your child?
It's confrontational, mostly because all you want is that child to be well. You can do this. You just go over it and over it and over. And there's moments of clarity where they say, I know, I got to do this. I have to do this. I can't live like this anymore. It's short-lived. And the addiction takes over. Most people don't understand disease. They don't feel it's a disease. It's a choice. She made a choice. But my daughter didn't, say when she was 12 or 13 years old, I know what I want to be when I grow up. I want to be an addict. It happened, and now we'd like to deal with it. We'd like to get help. Not a lot of help out there.
So talk to me about your days, your nights. What is a typical day or night like for you, knowing that your daughter has this disease?
I don't sleep much. I worry that she's going to go to sleep tonight and possibly not wake up. So I, up and down the stairs, periodically checking on her, make sure she's alive, make sure she's breathing. That's the reality of it. That's my nights and my days. We don't have a lot of vacation time. My husband and I don't go on vacation because, again, you're away. You could be away for a week, 10 days, and not know. And my thoughts will always be at home. Is she okay? Is she out? Is she, using? Is she home? Is she, So those are my days and those are my nights. Now,
how often does she use, do you think? Do you know?
I would say daily. I would say daily, absolutely.
In your home?
Yes. Yes.
How does that make you feel?
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible because you can't even, if I were to say to you, I'm going to go to the police department, I'm going to bring this and say, look, I found this they say, it's nothing we could do about it. It's not enough. And by the way, your daughter has an expectation of privacy. That's her room. So basically, I shouldn't be going in her room and taking stuff out of her drawers because it's against the law.
But it's your house.
I know, but she lives there, and she has an expectation of privacy. So.
And at this point, you know there's a problem.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
What do you do on a daily basis to try and find help?
I think I'm done now with trying because I know what's out there. I've done it all. I've made the phone calls. Not as I said, I would venture to say that most of the addicts out there, the young people out there, probably have state insurance, and there's not a lot of facilities that take it. And if you go to somewhere like Rushford, which is in Middletown, it's a first come, first served basis. As I said, there's 42 beds in the ITP, which is intensive patient therapy. 13 of the beds are for women out of 42. So.
Have you called them yourself?
Many times. I say I'm an addict, yes.
Okay, so you
Yes.
call them under almost false pretenses.
Oh yes, absolutely. And I say, I need help. Are there any beds? Sorry, no beds. Call back tomorrow. And they literally just hang up the phone. There's no conversation. When you do go there, if you do get in, you're in that waiting room 4 or 5 hours. It's full. It's full.
Has she ever gotten in?
She did get in a few weeks back. They do a 5-day detox and 21-day ITP, which is that intensive therapy. You have to, I don't know how to explain this. If the detox, if your 5 days ends on a weekend, they don't do admissions on Saturday and Sunday into ITP. So they send you home after 5 days of detox.
And then you come back?
And you come back on the Monday. Hopefully they have the bed. Out of the 42 beds, 13 are for women. You hope they have the bed and hope your insurance will cover it, because now you've been out for the weekend. And if you're an addict and you're in withdrawal, you'll probably use.
So what do you think needs to happen? What is your hope? This has been all over the news. It's happening to so many people. By sharing your story and the frustrations, what are you hoping happens?
Well, there needs to be legislation. For me, you have to give me the power back. What I would like Channel 8 to do, there was something like over 700 deaths last year. Look at how many of them were under 18. I'll bet you none of them were, because the parents have the power. The law states they're 18. They can sign themselves in and sign themselves out. When it comes to addiction, that has to change. It has to change. You find out the numbers. Find out if any of them are under 18. I'll bet you none of them are. They're all over 18 because they can go in, sign themselves. They could detox. They'll detox for 5 days just to get it out of their system for a little while, and they go back out on the street and use. And a lot of the problems with that is that the reason there are overdoses in a lot of cases is that they will go into detox using, say, whatever. I don't know all the lingo or whatever. Maybe 2 to 3 bags of heroin a day. I don't know. But that's what they're using. Now they detox. And a couple months down the road, they relapse. And they think they can use what they did 2 months ago. You can't. And then, that's how the overdoses also come about.
What do you think the longest period of time that your daughter has been clean in her adult life has been?
Maybe a year. It's been a long battle.
And how long ago was that?
Probably about 3 years ago. It's been the last few years that it seems to have escalated.
How do you feel it is now, like compared to even 6 months ago?
It's fever pitch right now, which got her into Rushford for those 5 days. But her insurance denied the ITP, so now she's back home. So
they gave her 5 days, but so that's good enough for you, but she's home and she's using again?
She hasn't left the house, so, I'm sure it helped. But I can't say that with certainty that she hasn't. Who knows?
She hasn't left the house. She's home all the time, or is she working?
No, she hasn't worked in probably a year. It takes over your whole life. When it gets this bad, the addiction takes over your whole life. You can't work. You can't function. You can only, all your thoughts is how you're going to get your next fix.
Have you had days where you've said, I can't do this anymore, I want you out?
Many. But, and we have looked into that. We say, you know what, you're an adult, you're going to have to figure this out. We can't do this anymore. This isn't fair to us. A lawyer will tell you, you could do this. And of course, it's money, maybe $2,000 to $3,000. It might take 30, 60, 90 days. And by the way,
To get her out of the house.
once the sheriff serves her and takes her out, his only obligation is to put her on the front step. That's it. And they leave. She's outside the front door. They did their job.
Have you had conversations with her about that?
Yes. In anger, in frustration, screaming, I can't do this anymore, you've got to go. But I think she knows. I'm her mom. I mean, I think about her sometimes when she hasn't come home for a couple of days and there's snow on the ground. I fear every time the phone rings, or the doorbell rings. It is, someone coming to tell me that they found her, and so to actually do it is very, very difficult. Many people, they have the best of intentions, say it all the time. You know what? You need to put her out. She needs to be out on the street. And they talk about this tough love all the time. And tough love, they'll tell you their success stories, but they won't tell you their failures. They won't tell you that, yes, I put them out, but she didn't make it or he didn't make it. They don't tell you those stories. They only tell you their success stories. I'm sure sometimes it works. They're very manipulative. They know everything to say and do to get you to your heart to ache or to know that, you're going to help them no matter what. I want her to live. I want her to have a second chance at a life. And I don't know where to go for that. So I'm hoping that maybe WTNH can help us figure this out. They're dying every day. It's horrible.
Has she ever, I mean, I know you say, in the heat of the moment, you've said, I can't do this anymore. Has she said, I can't do this anymore? Can you tell me like a real life experience that you've had of a moment where you thought you were getting through to her, but then it didn't go anywhere? I
think there's a lot of moments where we sit, few and far in between, that she says, I want to go. I want to go. We'll say, you want to go to Rushford? Yes, we'll go. We'll go to detox. We'll go to, and you start making the phone calls. Now 3 days in, you're withdrawn, and now your only concern is to take away the pain. So after a few days, you give up. She'll give up and say, I can't do this, and go out and use.
Has she tried to do it at home by herself with you guys as support?
Yes, very difficult though. Extremely difficult.
They need programs.
They need programs. And they need therapy. They need whatever their issues are, whether they're bipolar disorder, and it's not just about addiction. They can get to the root of what made them use to begin with. I mean, maybe it started out as a teenager, but they can, it's a whole new way of life. You have to get your coping skills back. They need therapy. They need intensive therapy. 5 days, I'll tell you what, not even 21 days. You need long-term therapy, maybe 3 to 6 months.
Has she ever said, Mom, this is the first time I ever used drugs? Has she ever told you her story of how it got started?
She told me as a teenager, just with friends, taking pills and partying. You go to a party and they're all doing it and you do it, and you want to feel that again. And
you told her, growing up, don't do this.
Oh, yes, absolutely. We have, for my husband and I that our age also, this is foreign to us. I mean, we come from the 60s, in the 70s. This is totally foreign. You get married, you have kids, you raise them. They get married, they have kids, and you have grandchildren, and that's it.
This is not how you imagined your life.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's very, very, it's all-consuming. It's heartbreaking. Because I do remember how sweet she is and how beautiful she is. and drugs takes that away.
The public perception of you and your family now. You know, friends. Have you lost friends? Have you lost, you know, how are you feeling socially with, you know, yes, she's going through something, but you guys are too.
Right.
The toll it's taken on, I mean, you're still married to her father?
Yeah, 45 years, yeah. It's, you know, it's difficult. We do have some very, very good friends and supportive family members. Incredible. However, there's a humiliation to it also. You know, you almost, you know, you don't want to face it. You know, everybody knows. And you also look at other people. You look at your friends, you look at your family, and you see the people whose kids are in college, and, you know, you see all of that, and that's all you ever wanted for your child, you know, is to have a good life and maybe meet some incredible guy and get married and have kids. And it just, it's a whole nother world. I mean, my husband and I, it's taken its toll. It really is. Because we don't have that life anymore that we had when you were confident. You know, she was in high school, 17 or 18, you can go on vacation, you know, she was old enough to be left alone. You didn't have all these worries about death and overdose and trying to call these places every day, and it's consuming. It's all consuming.
Your retirement is very different than you imagined it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Parenthood is very different than you imagined.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, it's just, it is what it is. I mean, she's my child, and I will probably do whatever I have to do to try and fix this.
Has it hurt your relationship with your other children at all?
You have arguments. You know, it hurts in the sense that I have other children that are married with children. You have young children. You tend to not want, would you want an addict around your young children? You know, you have to think about that also. So yeah, it's estranged, I guess.
Your advice to other people going through what you're going through. You said something earlier about, you know, support and you know, hearing other stories. Does it help you at all?
No, because after a while you say, I know. Just because there's 5,000 other people going through this or 10,000 other people going through it doesn't really help me. I'm not saying that it doesn't help other people. I think other people it does help. But it just never helped me. I just felt like, you're not giving me answers. You're saying, oh, I know, my son's an addict too. I want answers. I want help.
Do you think there could be help in numbers? Like if the masses were to say, you know, we are all stuck here.
Oh,
how do we fix this?
Without a doubt. I said so many times, if I knew the process to change, first of all, the law about the 18 and over, if I knew how to start, where to go, I would go by myself if I had to do it. If I had to go straight to, where do you go? Do you go to legislation or the Senate or however, whatever needed to be done, I would do it, because that is the biggest thing that needs to change. Don't tell me she's 18. That's just a number. An addict can only think where she's going to get money for her next fix. And if you're 18, 20, 30, 35, 40, it doesn't matter. That's what they're thinking.
Would you compare it to having a child with a disability?
Absolutely, without a doubt. It is a disability, but not too many people see it.
And that you should be able to maintain parental rights over medical
Definitely,
decisions.
definitely. She wouldn't be in, if I had the authority to say, sign her into a facility for 6 months, we wouldn't be here today talking about this.
You've had times where you tried to get her to go and she wouldn't go?
Sure. As I said, there's moments of clarity where she says, yes, I do want to go. And then you start to make your phone calls, and after 2 or 3 days, as I said, if they start to get sick, they're going to go out and use again. It involves illness. It involves vomiting and many other problems.
You said earlier, and I want to see if we can address it again. When an addict says, I need help, first of all, how hard is that for them? And how important is it to get the help right away?
Well, that's huge if an addict says, I need help. but you have to act on it immediately. Immediately. You need to be able to get on the phone, say, this is my problem, and I need to get there now. And if you have money, or you have private insurance, you walk in many doors are open to you. Many doors.
What happens if they don't get the help in that moment?
It's only a matter of hours, maybe a day, where they start to get really sick. And they're going to go out and they're going to use.
They change their mind?
Immediately, yeah. I would say within hours. I've seen it. I've seen the clarity, the calm. I know this is what I have to do. I've seen it, and I get so excited about it. But even that, I don't anymore, because you do learn that it's short-lived. They need to get help, and they need to get it right away. And as I said, I've actually taken her to the hospital, knowing full well that they're not going to do anything.
Do you talk every day about the problem? Is it mostly hush-hush? Is it...
No, we didn't for a long time. You know, as a mom, you want to see the best, so you tend to almost be in denial, because you say, no, she looks good today. No, I think everything is okay. I think it's because I want to think that. But in the last several months, it's almost daily, saying, it's got to stop. You have to stop. I'm afraid for you. You have to stop. They have no fear. They have no fear. They don't think about death. They just think about getting high.
So why speak out? I mean, you know, we're not saying names. We're not naming you. We're not naming your daughter, but she knows you're here. She knows you're talking.
Yeah, at first she wasn't happy about it. I think the humility for her, she knows she's, people will say whatever they have to say, and it's going to hurt her. But I want everyone to know that we need help. We don't, Narcan, I mean, great, it saved your life today. But who follows them after you give them the Narcan shots? And I've said it to you. Narcan is a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. That's all it is. I mean, yeah, it starts your heart up today, but what happens tomorrow when you go out and use again? That's not help to me. I don't want that. I want somebody to help us. I want more facilities, more access to facilities. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know. All I do know is that these young people are dying every day. You know the numbers. I think I saw it on your news in the last couple of days. Something like 700 deaths. And it exceeded the deaths from auto accidents. And we do more for that, I think. Here we have, a seatbelt law.
Those are numbers right now. They're statistics. The fear of becoming one of those statistics.
Every day. That's what I think about. And that's exactly what I say every single day. I don't want you, if you die, you will just be a statistic. And to me, no, you'll be our daughter, but to everybody else, you'll be a statistic and yesterday's news.
Are you a good parent?
I try to be. I'm probably an enabler. I've been told that because I haven't taken that tough love step. So I've been called that many times. But as a mom, I don't know. It's just, I can't do it.
You're living it. They're on the outside.
Yeah, and well-intentioned, I get it. But when you don't, I've said so many times to so many people, you have to kind of close your eyes and think about that. 2 weeks ago we had a blizzard. How well do you think I would have slept if in that 8 inches of snow and 10 degrees that she was somewhere out on the street? Would I have slept? No. So, yeah, unfortunately, I just can't be that person right now. I mean, I can't say that I wouldn't be pushed to that level. It's as I said, it's getting scarier by the day. Scarier by the day.